Honourable members, the business state.
When we should be expecting the media budget. Mr. Speaker, the second observation on page 7, 8 up to 9, the chairman of the committee made provisions for business on Friday, the 6th of June. My understanding is that the minister responsible for Interior and National Security have declared that day a public holiday. Mr. Speaker, even though the minister responsible for Interior declared the Friday 6th June as a public holiday for Eid al-Adha, Mr. Speaker, we are all aware that the president did promise that the Eid festival, there will be a 2-day holiday. And Mr. Speaker, the Eid al-Fitr, which is the first one, we had 2 holidays that the president, based on the promise of the president. And when the president was cutting the sword for the Hajj board, he said that it is a time for deep spiritual reflection, community gathering, and an act of charity. Additional holidays will give Muslims ample time to rejoice. Eid al-Adha is a very important Eid for Muslims, and it is the climax of the 5th pillar of Islam. The majority leader, you are the first Muslim majority leader of Parliament. You are the first. So I don't think he is the first Muslim majority leader from 92 up to date. So you should ensure that the promise of the president that he is going to give 2 days for Eid celebration. The Interior Minister only offers 6, which is 1 day, and that is not the promise of the president. I don't want to believe it is part of a promise and faith by the president, telling Muslim community that I'm giving you 2 days and then ended up giving us 1 day. So, Majority Leader, you will have to liaise with the Interior Minister and let us know, because we are concerned, because it is what the president promised Ghanaians. And he has given the first one. Why is the second one not given? We need to know. I'm saying that Eid al-Fitr, the president had promised 2 days holiday for Eid. In Eid al-Fitr, he gave the 2 days. Eid al-Adha, which the Interior Minister said 6th June is a holiday for Eid al-Adha. And it is not 1 day that the president promised. He said Eid, and we have 2 Eid. We have Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. So I don't know why you do one and you not give the other. So you need to brief us or talk to the minister responsible for Interior why he has to give Muslims 1 day for Eid al-Adha when the president promised us 2 days. That's what I am saying. Mr. Speaker, I don't know why I'm talking to the chairman who wants clarification. I'm talking to the chairman who needs clarification on the issues that I am raising. Because, Majority Leader, even though we appreciate what the president did for us for the Eid al-Fitr, the 2 days, equally, Eid al-Adha, Eid al-Adha is the climax of the 5th pillar of Islam, which is very, very important. That's the time we slaughter our cows. And that's the time we even need more time to rejoice. So I can invite the minister responsible for roads and highways to come and marry with me. But if he give us 1 day, it's against the promise of the president. And I don't want to believe that the president deceived the Muslim community. Thank you.
Yes, Chairman of the Business Committee, can we take some comments, then you have the floor to respond to them. Yes, Minority Chief Whip.
Speaker, let me start off by commending the leader of the House, who so far has navigated well. Now, if you look at the business statement as proposed for the adoption by the House, clearly replete with a number of questions. 72 questions is not ordinary. And these questions are questions that are outstanding, which has been offloaded. I'm also reliably aware that there are fresh questions. In fact, for our side, there are fresh questions that we have filed, anticipating the ministers to come and do justice and respond to these questions. So what? Now, we will not countenance excuses in the coming weeks. In fact, some of the ministers dutifully attend upon the House. Some don't. And we are taking a cue. I don't want to mention any names, but the Honorable Road Minister is a notable personality who is always in the House. Now, Honorable Akande has joined him. Now, Honorable Akande is taking a cue from Honorable Agoja. The other minister should take a cue. In the coming weeks, Majority Leader, we are not going to countenance, I am attending a meeting here, I am attending a conference here. This is Parliament, and it must prioritize the work of Parliament. So I'm hoping the respected Majority Leader will take this into consideration as we plan programs and activities for the ensuing week. Speaker, the Majority Leader will recall that I was at the Business Committee meeting. One of the agreements, significant agreement at the meeting, which I found missing, was a decision to program the Exchequer, the Finance Minister, to be here between Tuesday and Wednesday because of what he's doing at, we are told, an official program at Côte d'Ivoire, the AFDB elections. I can't find that captured. The Finance Minister must be in the House. Common Fund is outstanding. Get Fund project is outstanding. Well, NHIA, we are here to give official assent to the formula, so one cannot talk about it. You can see sadness in the faces of, if you visit the assemblies, no show. The assemblies are unhappy. The ministers are not happy. Why? And the Finance Minister will so moto decide when he wants to pay Common Fund. He's our friend. He's one of our own. But this one will put friendship aside. He must be programmed to attend upon the House and tell us what the plans are to honor these payments. And I'm sure the leader of the House agrees with me. Again, there's an observation that is emerging as a trend. Mining agreement. I recall when we passed the budget for the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, there was no provision for the reclamation of polluted water bodies, land, and all what have you. Yet, mining agreements day in, day out are being extended. Mining agreements are being signed. Article 268 of the Constitution is clear. An imperative on this House to ensure the ratification of these agreements. The Majority Leader, a respected lawyer as he is, also agrees. The current one is the gold mines, Goldfields Damai mine. We are aware, formally, there was a former release. Government has extended it. Yet, the executive cannot take Parliament for granted. They must bring that agreement here for ratification. We are entering the second week and no show. Meanwhile, the mining companies are working. Parliament has not ratified it. And the mining companies are working. These agreements must be brought to the House forthwith for Parliament to consider them. The executive cannot assume that the extension of the agreement is an automatic ratification by Parliament. No. Especially in this time and age, when water bodies, we have renewed effort in the pollution of water bodies and the destruction of land. We cannot. finance minister, this is not a matter for him to shed tears. This is not a matter for shedding of tears. He should just bring the agreement for us to consider. And I'll bring this to the notice of the majority leader to ensure the minister does the needful. If you visit Sakumono and its environs, houses are being pulled down for reasons we don't know. What we hear is that these houses have been built on waterways. Ramsey sites have been encroached upon, and hence the need for these houses to be pulled down. We don't know. That is what we've been hearing. At least, as a representative of the people, the minister should come. We will want to support the minister to sanitize building activities and to ensure that the right thing is done. Because I am also aware, and some of the assemblies who wrongfully issue building permits and yet go behind and cause the destruction of these same buildings. So it's a big concern, and we will be happy if the local government minister or a minister relevant to this program to come and apprise us. Is it just the question of structures being built on waterways being destroyed? Are there other considerations we need to look at? These are concerns that we cannot simply gloss over. Let me draw the curtains on an engagement we had with the Speaker and leadership. I thought that the discussion has been firmed up in terms of the time we'll start proceedings. We are told there's a proposal almost accepted that we should start proceedings at 2. And leader, I don't know if it's a matter that has been firmed up. It should find expression, or we should have a confirmation so that honourable members can program themselves accordingly.
Honourable member, on that note, I was part of that meeting, and you know it was conditional. Various caucuses would have to be informed, and by the agreement of the caucus, then the change will come appropriately. I think that was the decision taken at that meeting.
Yeah, that's fine. My conclusion is that the mood of the House, leader, I'm trying to gauge the mood of the House. I see your back, sadness to the power 4, and our back, sadness to the power 3. Majority leader, do something. The mood of the House is not too good. Members are happy. There are matters I cannot discuss in the open. So leadership must engage. Honorable Doyo, do the needful. Honorable Doyo, are you listening? You are on call. Listen to me. Deputy Whip, are you talking to the Finance Minister?
Honorable Minority Chief Whip, you rightly stated it, that leadership must engage. So do your engagement and communicate it to the caucus.
And we also want to plead that the majority leader, I trust him. When he wants to deliver, he does deliver. He doesn't want. But this one, we are not happy. There are lots of discussions that we cannot elaborate on in the open. And then finally, there are 4 ministers that are still outstanding. What are we waiting for? We are ready to support you. Bring your 4 ministers. The Honorable Mills, for instance, he needs to be considered. My good friend. And then I see Adongo has been praying and fasting. Speaker, he doesn't fast. He has been.
Honorable Anodon Pray, do you want to be appointed?
No, Speaker, I know he's one of our own, and when he succeeds.
No, do you personally want to be appointed?
No, my time will come.
So what is your worry?
Speaker, my time will come. Just that I'm worried the way Honorable Adongo is not happy. He's not happy. He has been praying and fasting, hoping that the last 4, he will make the list. And the 4 is not coming. So, majority leader, try and push the 4 so that we can consider our good friend. Because having said that, I want to thank you for the space and invite the majority leader to give us some good answers. I thank you.
Let me hear briefly from Honorable Adongo.
Mr. Speaker, I think it would to me be very, very sad that you are here talking. He was expecting you to sleep at Yoko with him. You abandoned him to sleep there. And today, you promised the people of Ghana that you abandon this chamber. You are here making a lot of arguments. Wontumi, you people should tell Wontumi his people are deceiving him. And he's sleeping there alone and they are here. Arguing for more holidays.
Honorable Adongo, are they supposed to sleep there with him?
Mr. Speaker, that is what they made us believe.
Chairman of the committee,
we were surprised when they were sitting on the ground there.
Honorable
but when we went there at 7, they had disappeared.
Yes, Honorable Kwame Animado-Entry.
For you.
I think it's a technical challenge.
It's back. Come here. Mine is working. So you can come and use this one. The majority leader deliberately of the minority's mic. Come and use this one.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's a short one. I just wanted to remind the majority leader that we are entering June, and up till now, we haven't seen the motion for the resolution for the international parliamentary delegations. It was something that was on the order paper last meeting, but surprisingly, we cannot see that, and we are entering June almost tomorrow. So if you want, we can hear something from him on that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. It's a very good observation. Yes, Chairman of the Business Committee, you have the floor.
Right Honorable Speaker, I regret what is happening to the microphones of the minority. The IT department should fix it. The minority have called off their announced boycott of the House, and therefore they need the microphones working so that they can participate fully. So I urge the IT department to quickly fix that, because the minority do not intend to boycott the House. On the question about mid-year budget, I'm sure when we get to the middle of the year, it will come. And also, the Honorable Habib's issue about a second holiday for Eid Adha. If you listened carefully to the President, what he said was that I am pleased to announce that I have instructed the legal counsel at the Presidency, Madame Marietta Brew, to amend the Public Holidays Act to allow for an additional holiday in celebration of Eid al-Fitr. Eid al-Fitr. From this year onwards, 2 public holidays will be observed at the end of the holy month of Ramadan. This is what the President said. At the end of the holy month of Ramadan. And I was in cabinet, and indeed the proposal was presented, it was carried, and the amendment to the public holidays bill will be brought, and the appropriate legislation will be enacted by this House. That was the specific promise of the President. Ministers attending, yes, we'll try and make sure that the ministers attend. Parliament is one of their first primary responsibilities, especially those who are members of Parliament. And if unavoidably they cannot make it, we will also give advance notice and reschedule the questions. As you will know, we don't have too many ministers. We have ministers that don't have deputies. Some international conferences require Ghana to be represented at the highest levels. And so ministers often have no option but to represent the country. And when that happens and they don't have deputy ministers, we will have to reschedule their questions. Otherwise, we will make sure every minister who is in town is here to answer their questions. I agree that mining agreements that the Constitution says must be ratified should be brought here for ratification. So any mining agreement that the Constitution says should be ratified by this House must be brought for ratification. So I will re-echo your call for those mining agreements to be brought to Parliament for us to consider. Local government minister, I think if you look at the statement, I did indicate that Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Order 91, ministers of state may be permitted to make statements on government policy. Government policy. See, let's not confuse statements to be made by government ministers on government policy with our responsibility as members of Parliament to ask ministers specific questions on implementation of the law for them to come and answer. When somebody builds at the wrong location and an assembly goes to enforce the law, if you want the minister here, you have to ask a specific question for the minister to come. It is not a government policy. The rules are clear that the ministers come here to answer questions asked by us specifically or to make statements on government policy. So we cannot, anytime that a business statement is presented, get up and recount all the things that we perceive to be going wrong in this country and say that the minister should come and answer when you haven't asked them a specific question, when it is not government policy. So henceforth, let's be careful what we ask for, because sitting here, I'll make sure that I check the rules and I use the rules to checkmate you. So ministers will only come to make statements on government policy, and ministers will only come to answer specific questions asked of them by members of Parliament. Not this practice where on Fridays everybody gets up and recounts from A to Z what he thinks that a minister should come and make a statement about. And I did have discussions with the members of Business Committee, and I indicated that the Minister for Finance had planned to come early this week on Tuesday to make a number of statements, but because of his appointment as a returning officer at the election of the president of the African Development Bank, he had to immediately leave for Abidjan and has asked me to reschedule the program for him to come and make the statements this week. So I had made that known to members at the Business Committee, and that is why we've made provision in C that ministers may come and make statements. Starting proceedings at 2 p.m. Yes, we did discuss that. We agreed among ourselves as leaders
but we thought we should engage our various caucuses before formally announcing it. And so when we have the committee of the whole, we can discuss it, and when we have our caucus meetings, we can discuss it and give the speaker a feedback so that he can make a formal announcement. I do agree that we must have a resolution on the delegations, and so we would accelerate the process of making sure that in the ensuing week we have the resolution on the delegations. I thought we had, what was holding us was the percentage of the representation. I took a position, my counterpart took a position, and nobody is willing to back off from his position, and that is what is holding us. If you accept my position, we will come and pass the resolution. Otherwise, Speaker has proposed a midway, which is to announce the statutory representation, and the nominee representation from both caucuses will be presented when we are able to conclude on what we think are the appropriate representations from both sides of the House. That is what is holding us. On the mood of the House, I think the mood of the House is good. So, the mood of the House is good. 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 And we will uplift it further. We will uplift it further. But the mood is good. And I thank colleagues and urge you to adopt the report of the committee.
Yes, Honorable Anodon Press.
Speaker, I'm not too old in this House. However, I have witnessed my fourth term. I'm quite old. The majority leader relates to a fact that specific question should be asked of ministers, and the ministers should come and answer to these specific questions. I also know for a fact, as a practice of the House, that where there is a matter of national concern, a matter that is of importance, oftentimes their side, when they were here, and he himself has exploited that, where he will say that this is a matter of public concern, and hence, shall we program the minister to come and apprise us? We've done this thing a number of times. Is it the case that under his reign, new king, new law, so he's going to depart from that? I think it's not good enough. Yes, we know the existence of the provisions in the orders that allows us to ask specific questions. It is also a practice that where a matter as grave as the destruction of properties, and the majority leader is saying that it is not of national concern, and therefore we cannot program the minister to come and apprise us. I find that very strange. And I leave this to the judgment of this House. Personally, I think we should look at it again.
With all due respect, I believe strongly the way we are going about it calls for concern. If a matter is not before the business committee for discussion to be programmed, you are asking that the business statement to be varied to accommodate a particular issue of great importance. You go about it in a way not to create the impression as if that ought to have been programmed, yet it is not on the business statement. That is where the missing link is coming from.
Yeah, you see, at the business committee, I raise it. And oftentimes, I don't just raise it. I don't like surprises. I've often reached out to him. Even this morning, he will bear me out. A matter on the lease, mining lease. I went to him as a leader, with respect. This is a matter of national concern. I don't want to pull a surprise on the floor. Get prepared, I'm going to raise it. At the business committee, I brought it to his attention that
At the time that the business statement has already been prepared.
But he answered it. He considered it important. So at the business committee, I spoke to him and said that, leader, people's buildings are being pulled out. It's a concern. It's a national security matter. Can you reach out to the minister so that at least he comes to carry us along? The minister may have good intentions, but the impression out there is not good.
So what was the decision of the business at the business committee on the matter?
It wasn't a decision of the committee. He promised that he will reach out to the minister. So, but if it's a decision that I have to file a specific question, that's fine. I will.
Yes, Majority Leader and Chairman of the Business Committee.
Mr. Speaker, I think that we must bring discipline to the way that we conduct affairs and proceedings in this House. You can ask an urgent question. The rules make provision for asking urgent questions so that the minister can come and answer those questions. But we sidestep the rules and we come on Fridays after we've agreed at business committee meeting what should be the business, and then we come and raise all manner of things. Matters that we could simply address by asking urgent questions. Because we make provision that, Mr. Speaker, the Business Committee has scheduled the following ministers to respond to questions asked of them during the week. So we've made provision for questions. We've made provision for urgent questions and then oral questions. Then our rules are clear on our right to ask urgent questions. So I'm just saying that let's be a bit more compliant with our rules. And this theatrics of every Friday we come and then we raise issues and make it look like as a leader I can, based on your prompting, just direct a minister to come and make statements on the floor. And I'm saying that the minister will come and make a statement if it is government policy he wants to come and announce. But where an assembly is enforcing zoning laws, an assembly is enforcing building regulations, you may not like the idea that they are enforcing the law, but they are enforcing the law. Should a minister be held accountable because an assembly is enforcing the law? You can ask an urgent question. Why is the property in this location being pulled down? Then the minister will come and say, well, I've checked with the assembly, and the assembly says that they built at the wrong place, they had no building permit, their construction was defective, it is a hazard to the inhabitants of the building. They may have so many reasons why they have decided to pull down a building. So I think that we should follow the rules. We have done it in the past, but I strongly believe that at this rate, I see some effort to misuse this practice that we allow each other to engage in. We had the discussion, you drew my attention, and I said it's right. I think that the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources should make sure he brings the agreements for us to ratify. You said you will raise it. I said no problem, raise it. Again, you discussed with me about the outstanding payments. I explained to the business committee that all the outstanding payments are ready. The finance minister has given payment instructions. I even showed some members of the committee the letter of the finance minister instructing payment. But I indicated that he wanted to accompany the instruction with a policy statement. And I had scheduled him to come on Tuesday. Unfortunately, he had to dash off to La Côte d'Ivoire. And so when he returns, we will schedule him. The only outstanding payment is National Health Insurance Authority Fund formula, which we haven't approved yet. So because we haven't approved it, the minister cannot make the payment. I explained all that to you at the committee meeting. So, Right Honourable Speaker, we've been very, very open. We've been very, very responsive. I just urge that let's keep within the rules of the House.
Honourable Minority Chief Whip, still on the business statement.
Yes, maybe we should draw the curtain on this matter, and he's spoken. But Speaker, for the record, the majority leader used the word theatrics. In all fairness and with respect to him, if I feel strongly about something, this is a debating chamber. I have the right to express same. I have the right to express same. I take exception to the word theatrics. I will not engage in theatrics for anything. I'm representing the people of Insaoma Dreji, and I have the right to speak to things that I believe in. Yes, no, I have not abused the rules. Leader, I have not abused the rules. You are the leader of the house. To use the word theatrics, no. When you were here, Fridays we knew what you were doing. And no, not exactly. But you see, if it is the case that now you are here and therefore you find it offensive, that's fine. But don't say that we are engaging in theatrics. That word should not be coming from you. You are the leader of the house. We respect you as the leader of the house. Don't use those words on us. We will not engage in theatrics for anything. Because I feel offended by that word. I feel offended by that word. We have cooperated with them. Even yesterday when your Minister of Finance, Speaker, is he here? This is me. Speaker, yesterday, Speaker, look at who is talking. Akando, yesterday, we allowed you to lay the papers for Finance Minister. You have a formula. We have not approved your formula yet. We have not approved your formula yet. You should be quiet. Because I think the majority leader, the greatest respect to him, he should just withdraw that word. Theatrics, no. That is an attack on the entire minority. To say that we are engaging in theatrics, no. We are representing our constituencies. And Speaker, I think I want to implore you to impress upon the respected leader to withdraw that word. Theatrics is not good a description for our side. I think it's wrong.
Yes, Honorable Habib.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to find out from the chairman of the business committee, because when in responding to my earlier question, he said the president directed his legal counsel or the one in charge to bring the Public Holidays Act. So meaning even the 2 holidays for the Eid al-Fitr, it hasn't been properly captured in the Public Holidays Act. That's one. And then the second thing is that when I asked when we are expecting the media budget review, the chairman, you dancing around it. That's number one. The second thing is that majority leader, let me finish my question, then you can respond. Then the other thing is that okay, Mr. Speaker, the other thing is that when he was reading, he said on the holy day the president promised. The president only promised Eid al-Fitr. And if that is the communication to the Muslim community that he never promised Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, I have read the same speech that you are talking about. And part of the speech, which is reported on Graphic Online and other news portals, quoted the president saying that Eid, they said Eid is a time for deep spiritual reflection, community gathering, and an act of charity. The additional holiday will give Muslims ample time to fulfill their religious duties. So, Mr. Speaker,
with all due respect, don't you think that in working on the law, all these issues should be addressed?
So, Mr. Speaker, if it is the case that the president doesn't want to add Eid al-Adha, we should add the Eid al-Adha ourselves in this house, in this chamber. We can do it. And you are the first Muslim majority leader. It will be part of your achievement. And Mr. Speaker, the majority leader in responding to business statements, he has to be as calm as he is. He is the leader of the house. He shouldn't be using words that will provoke people. He should know that he is the leader of the house. And if his mood is there, we will double our own. But if his mood is down, then we will cooperate with him. So, majority leader, you are the leader of the house. And for that matter, certain words, don't let don't let the minister responsible for health influence you. Akando, when he was here, that was part of the things that you were doing. You are now a minister. Stop influencing him. So do the needful and respect what the chief whip said. And do the needful so that you can carry us along. The mood of this today is not good. So don't let us make it worse.
Honorable Chairman of the Business Committee, your brother is not happy about the use of a particular words.
Mr. Speaker, as for theater, this chamber is a place for theater sometimes, and we all engage in theater, and it is to lighten the atmosphere in this room, and theater helps to communicate. That is the whole idea of theater, and sometimes when you are theatrical, you are more effective in communicating to your constituents that you are representing them. And so when I say that you are successfully theatrical, it means that you are effective in communicating to your constituents. So I thought that I was commending you. I thought I was commending you for being very, very effective. But if you think that you don't want to be applauded for being effective, I would draw the word theater. Mr. Speaker, I also want to assure my brother that definitely the mid-year budget will come. It will come. We just resumed, and so the mid-year budget will come in the middle of the year. I don't think that to say that the mid-year budget will come in the middle of the year is dancing. In fact, he also withdraw the word dancing. He says, I'm dancing. Mr. Speaker, was I dancing? Mr. Speaker, I'm also offended by being described as dancing when I was sitting. Mr. Speaker, I was sitting, and he said I was dancing. He says he has also withdrawn. We are even. Mr. Speaker, let me assure you that I mean no disrespect to any member of this House. And I think I forgot to address the question about ministerial nominees. I think it is the prerogative of the president to decide how many ministers he wants. I think the NDC, as a political party, before coming into office, promised a certain number. If the president thinks that he has enough men and women to work with, that's his decision. If the minority chief whip has favorites that he wants to recommend to the president, I cannot stop him from using this chamber to keep lobbying for his favorites. Some of them are also my friends and brothers. If they get appointments, I'll be happy. But it's up to the president to take a decision on the total number of ministers that he wants to work with. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
All members, the business statement as presented is hereby adopted. Members, let me recognize the presence of our children here in our midst. We have Aboso Kai RC Primary School, led by Gifty Kumoji, a teacher. They are from Ablekuma Central constituency, a numbered 100. We also have Shalom School Complex, and the leader is N.S. Yabua, administrator. They are in Duami Kwabenya constituency. We have Supreme Power School Complex, led by John Anabila, head teacher. They are from Mamasama. They numbered 62. On behalf of the House and on my own behalf, I wish our children a fruitful visit to the House. Thank you very much. Honourable members, we need to suspend sitting to take care of an urgent matter. Sitting will resume shortly. Thank you very much. Sitting accordingly suspended.
Of the energy sector levies and accounts for the year 2024.
Honourable members, the report has been duly presented and it is for the distribution to honourable members. Item number 7. Presented and it is referred to the Finance Committee for consideration and report. Is that the Finance Committee? BII.
Report for the 2024 financial year.
The report by the item number 7 BII has been duly presented and it is referred to the Finance Committee for consideration and report. Yes.
Speaker, with respect, I'm seeking your leave for the first item. If it pleases you or finds favor with you, we can involve the leadership of the Energy Committee in your referral. A while ago, you are referring to the Finance Committee. I thought since the energy sector levies an account, if we could involve the leadership of the committee of the.
Well, that must be the decision of the House. So,
Mr. Speaker, it causes no harm because we used to engage the leadership of the Energy Committee in the previous Parliament. So I think we can repeat same here.
So, honourable members, let's go back to the item numbered 7BI of the Energy Committee. Then we can move to the item numbered BII. Your application has been granted. The leadership of the Energy Committee are accordingly added. So let's now move to 7BII.
In respect of the Ministry of Finance for the period January to December 2024.
Honourable members, the paper by the item numbered 7BIII has been duly presented and it is referred to the Finance Committee for consideration and report. We have to defer the laying of the item numbered 7C. Numbered 7D. Yes, Honorable Deputy Majority Whip. 7D.
Mr. Speaker, respectfully, we want to step down 7D. The Finance Minister will come and communicate to the House as to how to proceed.
Very well.
Down. 7D, and he's waiting for the Finance Minister to be here. In the first place, the item is not advertised in the name of the Finance Minister. You should look at it well. So the Finance Minister has no locus. What he should do is that he should seek your leave to do it on behalf of the chairman. And he should prefer reasons why he's stepping it down. Simple as that. And
is the chairman of the Finance Committee available?
The vice chairman of the committee. So, I am the vice chairman of the committee.
In the absence of the chairman of the committee, I am
Mr.
inclined
Speaker,
to grant
we are
permission.
indulgent. We would like to withdraw 7D, and then the minister has suggested to present a fresh bill for consideration, so that there's no need to bring any amendment to this effect. So we are going to bring a fresh bill. This is the instruction from the Finance Ministry. So we are withdrawing 7D, and in place of it, we'll present a new bill. Thank you very much.
Yes, Minority Chief Whip.
Speaker, we are always cooperative, and I hope my colleagues will acknowledge and appreciate that. So you want to withdraw it, prefer reasons why you are withdrawing it, and then that will be fine. The reasons are not enough. Give good reasons. We want to listen to you.
Honorable members, having listened to the Deputy Majority Whip, I think what ought to have been done is to withdraw the amendment bill that has been introduced, pursuant to which this report cannot be presented. Because what is on the order paper, item numbered 7B, is report of the Finance Committee on Ghana Cocoa Board Amendment Bill. Therefore, if the indication is that the bill pursuant to which this report is being laid would be withdrawn, then consequentially, there will be no need taking this particular report. So in that case, we'll wait for the right thing to be done so that the bill is officially withdrawn. Then it will have consequential effect on the item 7BD. Members will then have to move back to item numbered 6. Revere student visiting us, may I have the pleasure to announce their presence. First on my list is AME Zion Girls Senior High School, led by Obed Ankoma, a teacher. They are from Efutu. They numbered 67. It is Sinclair International School, led by Evans Osei and Sana Bosson. Sana Bosson, assistant head teacher. They are also from Efutu. They numbered 61. Janjazi MA Basic School, led by Bismarck Yevuibo, headmaster. They are also from Efutu. The SDA Basic School, led by Ishmael Kwesi Bentum, headmaster. They are from Takrady. They numbered 58. On my own behalf, and on behalf of Parliament of the Republic of Ghana, I welcome you all. May you have a fruitful visit to Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Once again, you are warmly welcome. Honourable members, item numbered 6, statement. Have a statement on the of MMDCs made by, or we've taken that statement already. I think this was the statement we deferred.
Yes.
Very well. So statement on the election of MMDCs by Honorable Eric Nana Ajiman Prempre, Member of Parliament for Ahafuano North Constituency. Honourable Member, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Speaker, I appreciate your kindness for giving me this opportunity to make this statement on a matter that has been of concern to every Ghanaian, the election of Metropolitan, Municipal, and District Chief Executive. Mr. Speaker, Ghana has since the promulgation of the 1992 Constitution practiced a system that allows the appointment of MMDCs as enshrined in 1992 Constitution. That is Article 243, Clause 1, which states that there shall be a district chief executive for every district who shall be appointed by the President with prior approval of not less than 2/3 majority of members of the Assembly present and voting at the time. Mr. Speaker, this practice has over the years come with its challenges and impeded the smooth operationalization of our various district assemblies. We all witness to these challenges, but have confronted our governance system over the years due to this practice, from the friction between MMDCs and MPs to issues of where loyalty and accountability of appointees lie, among others. Mr. Speaker, as a country, the winner-takes-all syndrome has been a phenomenon that has been spoken about widely by Ghanaian people. Mr. Speaker, we are again witness to several lip service attempts made by political authorities in the past to address the issue thereof. Unfortunately, all the attempts came to naught. The sitting president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, while seeking to be elected president in 2012, made a promise to do this, and I quote, "I will ensure that the Constitutional Review Committee proposed constitutional amendments and passed to evolve the people directly in the election of MMDCs, end of quote. This is well articulated in the 2012 NDC manifesto, page 93. For 4 years while in office, 2013 to 2016, President Mahama made very little or no effort to see to the fulfillment of that promise. Mr. Speaker, the MPP on the page numbered 141 of their 2017 manifesto also made a solemn pledge to oversee the direct election of MMDCs to coincide with 2019 district-level elections. After strenuous efforts in seeing to the fulfillment of same, we all remember the disagreement that ensued, leading to the regrettable halt of a process the government has spent huge sums of Ghana cedis to undertake. Mr. Speaker, I will not want to recount the wasted effort of the then government that sought to amend Article 243 through the introduction of the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2018 to the 7th Parliament by the then Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Ms. Gloria Akufu, on the authority of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. The bill had gone through the first reading and referred to the Committee of Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. The committee had done all necessary consultations and deliberated extensively on the bill and reported to the House. Mr. Speaker, the chairman of the committee at the time, Honorable Ben Abdallah Banda, in presenting the report of the committee on the 29th July 2019, articulated the importance of amending Article 243. Key amongst them were that, 1, it will create an opportunity for very competent persons to stand for election as MMDCs. 2, it will reduce incidences of having unpopular candidates appointed as MMDCs, leading to some misguided people possibly removing or chasing out MMDCs after the president has nominated them under the system. 3, it will break the winner-takes-all syndrome in Ghana's politics. 4, it will fully democratize the government system. 5, it will promote local democracy by allowing local people to choose their leaders. And 6, it will minimize the perceived tension and acrimony between MMDCs and honorable members of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, we have all agreed in principle, that is both NDC and MPP, and this was indicative in the report of the Constitutional Review Committee chaired by Professor Albert Kojo-Fiajo. What we have disagreed on is, to date, is the approach as to whether political parties' involvement must be made legal or election without direct political involvement. What we have failed to avert our minds to is the already subtle involvement of the political parties, even in district-level elections. Mr. Speaker, the time has come again for us to revisit these very important discussions on the election of MMDCs and to find a lasting solution to the matter. We cannot keep reviving our wounds every 4 years when chief executives are to be selected to man our various districts. Let me use this opportunity to remind His Excellency John Dramani Mahama of his promise in 2024 NDC manifesto on page 145, where he pledged to do this, and I quote, to strengthen local level participation and political accountability through the election of MMDCs on a non-partisan basis by amending Article 243 and 246B of the 1992 Constitution, end of quote. Mr. Speaker, the President, in his recent inauguration of the Professor Henry Kwesi Prempeh-led Constitutional Review Committee, was keen on this matter. We assured him of our utmost commitment as an important mighty minority to seeing through the amendment of the said article to benefit our country. I believe that the non-partisan election of MMDCs will be the way forward. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, since today is my maiden statement, I seek your indulgence to thank the good people of Enyina Susu, Betiakon, Abonsiaso, Tubriso, Trebidi, Asushia, Dahon, Manfo, and Akwesiase, and the entire Afuano constituency for giving me the opportunity to represent them, and I pledge to be their worthy ambassador. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for gracing me with this opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Members, statement ably made, and it is now for your comment, subject to the restrictions imposed on us by Order 93.5. Honorable Francafriye, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Speaker, permit me to pat the maker of the statement at the back for raising an issue as important as the election of MMDCs, not on partisan basis, but on a political basis. Because oftentimes, it is the case that all the political parties will unite during electioneering campaign time. But once power is won, and we get to the judicious allocation of resources, that is where you find a lot of troubling issues. Speaker, at the local level, many of us work. And once you partake in the work, you must benefit from the spoils of power. But that is where the issue lies. And so it is very important that he brings forth a matter as important as that. And this is not just about MPP or NDC or any other party. It's quite applicable to all the political parties that have won power with the onset of the Fourth Republic from 1992. Mr. Speaker, the time has come for us, though the appointment of MMDCs is a constitutional imperative, but I think that the Constitution itself is organic. The time has come for us to subject it to scrutiny and to do the necessary changes that we have to do by electing our MMDCs. Because sometimes the nomination process becomes so chaotic, as the maker of the statement has said. Because during the process of having assembly members to endorse the nominee, you have forces for and forces against. And where negative and positive clash, of course, there will be flow of current. And sometimes it can really be troubling. Because at the local level, we have a lot of people. We must seek as channeling resources to them. And once you are not elected, you do not feel the burden to be accountable to the people on ground. As respected members of Parliament, we know that we have gone to the electorate and they have given us their mandate. And so almost always we are guided by that, and we know after every 4 years, we will go then for renewal of our mandate. And so we are constantly accountable. When you get a chief executive so nominated, who is not popular, he feels extremely unaccountable to the people on ground. That in itself can derail progress. And so the time has come for us to fasten the process of election of MMDC, as almost all presidents in the past have committed. I believe strongly in the promises of John Mahama. He promises and delivers. And then we are all adding our voice in unison to ensure that barring any unforeseen circumstances, we will, this is a government that delivers, we will see to the election of MMDCs in order to promote governance at the local level and also to promote democratic accountability. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Yes, Honourable Member, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And let me commend the maker of the statement for bringing such important issue to the floor. The Speaker, MMDCs play quite an important role in the daily politics of this country, because they oversee the disbursement and proper utilization of a very important fund that goes into the district. However, we've always seen that sometimes the appointments come with some sort of chaos when the elections are ongoing, most especially when the president's choice is not what party people or what the community support. So I would like to also add my voice to the call, the need for election. The Speaker, this will help us in the sense that the people themselves will elect people that they know are competent, people that they trust, and people that they know are well placed, who know the dynamics of each constituency or each municipality or district. They know these people can help them achieve the developmental objectives and agenda of the district or community. And when this happens, it will be less prone to chaos and violence. The Speaker, conflicts in districts usually also arise when there's a seeming tension between the elected or appointed officer and the member of parliament. And elections will also ensure that this tension is reduced to the barest minimum, because both people, the MP and the MMDC, would have been elected by the community or constituents themselves. And when that happens, partisanship will reduce, because, for example, if you come to my constituency and the MMDC is elected, it will likely be the will of the people. It will not be because of a partisan position that the person be because of the will. And if the will of the people doesn't go in tandem with the will of the president, this is where the chaos comes. If the will of the people themselves elect their own MMD, then the resultant chaos. So, Mr. Speaker, this statement has come in the proper light, and I think the majority at this point have the numbers enough to affect the changes that we all wish to have. I once again end here commending the maker of the statement for this very.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Fred Agbenyo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Let me start off by commending the maker of the statement. The Speaker, I think that this statement has come at a very good time. It is true that almost all the political parties have agreed that what we are going to as a country, there will be the need for us to elect our MMDCs in our various districts. Mr. Speaker, they have mentioned the tensions and the problems that we all go through between MPs and the DCs in most of the districts. The extent that the district thinks that it's not elected by the people and so it's not necessarily accountable to the people, and that the MP who is elected by the people becomes the only person who carries the entire burden, and in most cases, they even try to undermine the MP. The Speaker, there's something that all of us, for whatever reason, will gloss over when it comes to this election of MMDCs. The Speaker, it almost becomes like the cocoa season for our assemblymen. These are things that normally we don't want to talk about openly, but we know the things that happen. The things that sometimes some of these nominees have to go through before they even go through the voting exercise. You know, Mr. Speaker, when it comes to the fore, they are arrested. When it doesn't come to the fore, we pretend we don't know what is going on. Now, people have to go and borrow money to go and pay in some cases to some of these people before they are elected. Now, when they take office, where would they get the money to pay back the money that the other went and borrowed, the loans that they took to be able to go to the exercise? So, Mr. Speaker, I want to really support the statement that we need to review the law and make way for us to elect competitively our MMDCs. And when we do that, we'll be able to get the right caliber of people to represent us at the various assemblies. I am happy to note that the government has decided that 80% of the District Common Fund will go directly to the assemblies. It calls for us getting people who have the competence and the skills and ability, and people who see themselves as being accountable to the people that they are governing to be in charge of the district. Once they know that their power comes from the people, I am sure they will serve the people diligently. And so, Mr. Speaker, we want to invite you to assist us to review the law so that subsequently presidents do not have to appoint these persons again, but we elect them to serve all of us. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you. All members, can we take 1-1, then turn to leadership?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. To contribute to the comment made by the Honorable Eric Nanajma Krempe. Mr. Speaker, today in this country, our that the Member of Parliament is an agent for development. Even though the local government system provides that the district assembly or the municipal chief executive is supposed to champion development in our constituencies. This is so because, Mr. Speaker, we do not elect our MMDC. And the people feel that the Member of Parliament has the obligation to bring the needed development. And I believe that if we all come together and champion this cause so that we elect our MMDC, then the MMDCs will have that responsibility towards the people in championing development and also be accountable to them. Today, we vote for assembly members, then we jump MMDCs, come and vote for members of parliament, and then vote for the presidency. I believe if we start to elect our municipal chief executives or DCEs, they'll become more accountable and then enhance civic engagement within our constituencies. And also, Mr. Speaker, this will help them to prioritize the needs of the constituencies because as it stands today, an MMDC will come based on appointment from the president. He will take office, and the key things that might be important or that the constituents would want, he, based on his priorities, will decide otherwise. So I speak in support of the statement that the time is ripe that we elect our municipal chief executives. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Yes, Honourable Erikafu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. And let me thank the maker of the statement for a wonderful one. The Speaker, I remember in the 7th Parliament, this issue cropped up. The two sides of the coin agreed that the MMDCs will be elected through the universal adult suffrage. Unfortunately, what mixed was the modalities as to how they will be elected. The Speaker, I would like to add my voice to the call from the honourable member that if you are not able to elect the MMDCs, you will be continue to be not accountable and not to be responsible for the citizenry. within their communities. Mr. Speaker, I would like to dwell on finances a bit. The MMDCs, who is not elected through the universal adult suffrage, controls all the finances within the assembly. All the finances with the assembly. The MP who has been elected through the universal adult suffrage, the finances of the MP is controlled by the MMDCs. That continue to give a lot of problems within the various communities. Mr. Speaker, to be specific, let me say that the District Assembly Common Fund, all the 100% goes to the Assembly. The 5% of it, which belongs to the MP, is still controlled by the MMDCs. What the MP can do is that he can only, recommend, make a proposal to the MMDCs that I want to build a school here. That is all. Either the MMDCs will give that will agree, will not agree, depends on the powers of the MMDC. So, Speaker, I think there's a high time we change the structure. Mr. Speaker, the district development facility is controlled by the MMDCs. The royalties from the natural resources within the community is controlled by the MMDCs. The funds they collect within the vicinity is controlled, the IGF is controlled by the MMDCs. And therefore, the MP is incapacitated financially. Where the money is, that is where I have the power. So I'll add my voice to the call from the honorable member for us to go back and make sure that the MMDCs are elected so that they will be more accountable and responsible to the people within their vicinities. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, leadership.
I out of place if I commend you highly for your decision to admit this statement. In the wake of the fact that yesterday you had to defer it today because of a matter that you had to deal with. I want to commend you for having held on to the faith and ensure that this statement is delivered today. Let me proceed further to commend my friend, my good friend, the Honorable Ajimai, who I must say that he had earlier spoken to me about this matter and the decision to present it in the form of a statement. Speaker, I don't wish to repeat many of the contributions that earlier speakers have alluded to, but just to reference what Dr. Afo said. Let's not get it wrong. Nobody is drawing a coalition course between present MMDCs and MPs. That is not the intent of the statement. And at this time and age, people often draw hasty conclusions. We are not fighting MMDC. We think that since the 80s, we've practiced a system, a decentralization system from the 80s all up to this time. And the experts say that change is a constant. And humans, we can't remain and say that the passage of time we won't change. Because it has become important. And because I have engaged you personally on the same matter, and you have reverted our minds to the fear about the appointing authority losing its powers. Appointing authority losing its powers. We can take all these concerns, varied concern, in good stride and take a patriotic position as a country. For me, few observations. The confirmation of MMDCs, even though largely has been smooth, there have been a number of violent-prone areas and incidents all over the country. Just a simple exercise of going to vote on MMDCs degenerates and creates security concerns. So that must be dealt with. And I think one of the processes that can be used is the election of MMDCs. It will also reduce the tension, the needless tension between MMDCs and MPs. Our roles are defined. Significantly different roles. We play our roles as they have their roles to play. Yet, we are almost at each other's throats. Needless. We can borrow, and there are genuine fears. People make the fears that, well, if we do it, the minority will be controlling certain portions of the country, and the country will be divided. It's neither here nor there. That will reflect the will of the people. If it is the will of the people that a certain person should occupy the MMDC position, you can't change it. You can't change it. Why is it that the MPs are elected? We are ex-officio members of the assembly. The MPs are elected. The assembly members who go to confirm the nominees are also elected. I see my colleague, the Honorable Kosa, is here. I'm sure Mr. Speaker knows you very well. Don't worry, he will recognize you. Don't worry. Mr. Speaker will surely recognize you. So, the assemblymen are elected, MPs are elected, and it's only the MMDCs that it happens that a small section of people go and vote for them. Because I think it's high time we open up this matter and ensure that now you have 2/3. You have said that, the last speaker said that the Honorable, His Excellency the President, is fulfilling all his promises. Now you have 2/3. Go ahead and amend the Constitution and ensure that MMDCs are elected. Don't wait for anybody. You don't even need us to do it. Go ahead and do it. You may not even need us. 2/3, you can do it. Because on a more serious note, I want to plead that this matter shouldn't just be subjected to normal lamentations and we go home and sleep. Speaker, let's sustain the conversation for some time to come. And to that end, I want to employ and plead for your wisdom for probably some consequential directives. The local government committee is a very active committee. The minister we know as a very experienced member of parliament, Nabu Ahmed, has been in leadership for all these while. He's also passionate about this matter. Then we can follow through to this matter all to its logical conclusion. As a nation, we need to depart from what is happening currently and help in fomenting our local governance structure. So having said this, Speaker, I also want to plead, I know you have gotten to leadership. The Honorable Kosa is here, if it pleases you. He was immediate past Minister for Local Government, if we can hear from him as well. I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Kosa. Let me give him the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me commend the maker of the statement for bringing this matter to the fore. Mr. Speaker, I'll be very brief in my remarks. I just want to put on record that if there is any policy or any issue that has a meeting of minds from both sides of the political divide, it is the issue of the election of MMDC. Mr. Speaker, we may recall that the past government took up this policy and did various efforts to be able to have pushed us to the election of MMDCs. Though all the two parties agreed to the election, the point of departure was whether or not it should be on partisan basis. Somehow, we need to put a decision and make a move. It's an issue that is long overdue, and its implementation would ensure that we move our local governance system a step forward in shaping it and making it better for our national governance program. Given that the current government has overwhelming numbers to make this happen, and being committed to it at least in the 2020 manifesto and 2024, Mr. Speaker, I believe that the way is very clear for our friends in government to make do with this policy. And we, on this side of the divide, are ever ready to give government every support. And we count on them. I believe that this conversation should trigger some roadmap that we can immediately put in place and ensure that we make our governance at the local level better by adopting this move. Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable Former Minister. Yes, Honorable Richard Achampong.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity to add my voice to the call by the honorable colleague for members or the country to take a decision to elect our MMDCs. Mr. Speaker, you can say that in principle, all political parties do agree that we should elect our MMDCs. But when you are in opposition, you feel it better than in government. Because always there's a tough war between the MPs and the MMDCs. So right now, we thank God that the Constitutional Review Committee is working. So let's come together, put up the proposal, what we want them to do, so that they will incorporate our views, so that by the end of the day, Ghanaians will take a decision, so we'll see the pathway. Because we've read these issues over and over and over, but there's no resolution to this matter. Other people are saying the president should nominate 3 people, present them to Public Service Commission, vet them and present them for elections. And the president should retain the power to sack those people. Because if he is appointing, he must have the power to also sack them. But another school of thought is also saying, if you present the candidate for the people to elect them, if you want to sack the person, give them the power to put in a petition so that based on the findings, that person is sacked. These are the controversies around all these things. So let's try to fashion out a modality which will work for all of us. Because if you're an MP and you're not on good terms with the DCE, giving the mere instruction will never solve any problem. Because the DCE himself is interested to unseat you. So the resources that goes to the DCE, he will use that resource to undermine the work of the MP. So let's have a pathway. How do you want to achieve it? Free for all, so everybody can pick a form, contest elections, and win, and become the DCE. But people are also saying the person is representing the central government or the president at the local level. So if the person is not aligned with the visions and ambitions of the president, the DCE will sabotage the work of the president of the day. So by the end of the day, like we are trying to do this time around, we are sending about 80% of the resources to the local assembly for development. And this is a DCE elected by the people who is coming from a different political party, who is refusing to implement the policies and programs of the government of the day. How can the government achieve its set goals and objectives? So these are some of the areas we need to explore and develop it well. So that by the end of the day, the person is elected, there may be some monitoring system put in place to check whoever is appointed or elected. When it comes to security, the person is in charge of dissect. The president will be visiting the constituencies or the district. Who is going to provide security for the president if the person is not in the same government with the government of the day? So these are some of the things. National security is there but you know what people can also do.
Honorable Richard Achampon, please address me.
Mr. Speaker, for example, if you come to the president visits Bia East, the residents of the DCE will accommodate the president. And this DCE belongs to a Kwadonko party. I'm talking about a situation where you don't have any other means than to host the president. Even drinking water becomes a challenge. No, we are dealing with human beings. And I'm not shutting the door. But let's think around all these things so that we can fashion up a roadmap as to how to proceed. Either free for all, or the president will appoint 3 people, present them to. So, Mr. Speaker, I think the committee is working. We can make an input so that by the end of the day, there will be sanity, we'll get value for money, and people will be responsible because they have been voted for. If they don't discharge their duties well, they know the people can vote against them the next day. Like members of parliament, every 4 years, you subject yourself to the people for re-election. So if you don't conduct yourself well, by the end of the day, they will punish you through the ballot box. So I think it's a good call, but let's see how we navigate all this past so that by the end of the day, we'll get to know that people are given resources to work, they are responsible, and we can also go to sleep that there's no mischief. Nobody is going to undermine the work of the government of the day. It's not by NDC or MPP. After 20, 30 years, MPP will come to power. The same thing will come to play. The same thing will come to play. So let's try to see how we navigate this. So by the end of the day, we will stop the talking and we'll move to real action. Because we've been lamenting over this over and over and over. Let's come together. Let's present a paper to the Commission so that they will incorporate it and then the implementation will come to all of us. I thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Honorable Richard Achampon. Honorable members, as a member of Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee at the material time that the Constitutional Amendment Bill came before this House and rising to become the immediate past ranking member of Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee, I think it is important to add my voice to the statement ably made by Honorable Nana Agyeman. Honorable members, we normally talk about this issue, election of the district chief executives or MMDCs, looking at Article 243(1). But we don't look at Article 243 in a whole and relate it to the challenges in amending the Constitution at the material time. Honourable members, on this issue, both the minority and the majority at all material time are in support of the MMDCs being elected. You can even see it from the contribution of members on this particular statement. I recall when they came to amend the Constitution, they introduced the bill. But before the second reading, at the committee meeting, there were 2 challenges. One was the modality in electing the MMDCs so that it doesn't pose a problem that Richard Achampon mentioned. But the consolation was that the districts or the MMDCs, once they are in charge of the district assembly and the district assembly is supposed to be politically neutral, that may not be a major issue. What came before us was to amend Article 243(1). However, if you amend Article 2431 without amending Article 2433, there will be a challenge. Because as we speak, the constitutional imperative currently is that the MMDC must be nominated by the President and confirmed by the Assembly members by a vote of 2/3 majority. Thereafter, the President will appoint them. The President then becomes the appointing authority. In view of that, Article 243 gives the power to the President to revoke the appointment of the District Chief Executive. Honourable members, let's look at it together. The office of the District Chief Executive shall become vacant if a vote of no confidence, supported by a vote of not less than 2/3 of all the members of the District Assembly, is passed against him. 2, he is removed from office by the President, or he resigns or dies. Honourable members, we can better understand this if you look at Article 249 of the Constitution. It states, subject to a procedure established by law, the mandate of a member of the District Assembly may be revoked by the electorate or the appointing authority. Now, we have 2 categories of the Assembly members, the elected members and the appointed members. So for the elected members, their appointment can be revoked by the electorate. Then those appointed, it can be revoked by the appointing authority. Now, when you take away the power of appointment to give it to the electorate, why then would a District Chief Executive elected by the people be removed from office by the President of the Republic of Ghana? Then that really poses a challenge, because an ordinary member of the Assembly elected by the people can only be removed from office by the electorate. So if the District Chief Executive is elected, why should the President have the power to remove that Chief Executive from office? So the view is that the power to remove such a person should be given to the electorate. And at second reading, we realize that unless Article 243 of the Constitution is amended in a whole, we may not be solving the problem that we really want to solve. All members, we agree that they need to be elected. As we speak, in the eyes of the general public, when they talk of the common fund, it is you, the MPs. We, the MPs, the public is of the view that we are responsible. But in reality, and by the formula that we've been approving, it is the MMDCs that control that particular fund. It is only 5% that is distributed among the members of Parliament. And even that, it doesn't go to them directly. It is paid into a designated account at the Assembly. And unless and until that District Chief Executive signs the disbursement form, no money can come from that particular account. So sometimes it gives me much interest as how a lecture in metaphysics will give to a child of 10 years when they are expecting you to account for a money that you don't control. You are not a signatory to the check of that 5%. They even ask you to account for the common fund. Most people do not know that it is only 5% that is distributed among members of Parliament, and all that you can do as a member of Parliament is to write to them to refer to the formula for the usage and see whether they can drill a borehole in this community or renovate a classroom structure in this community. That is the limit of your responsibility. I will urge the media to help us educate the general public that when we talk about the common fund, it goes to the assembly, 100%. It's only 5% distributed among members of parliament that you can authorize projects to be executed by it. Today, if there is a project need in your constituency, without talking to the district chief executive, you receive a call from the media that there is a challenge in this constituency. What are you doing about it? And what can your 5% do? They will leave somebody who controls the 80% and be talking to you who controls only 5%. And even that 5%, you cannot sign the check. If you even ask them that, have you spoken to my district chief executive on this project? Hey, you have a problem. So I think we owe it as a duty to carry the public along so that they will agree with us that the only way the district chief executive can really be accountable is when they are elected. And they can be accountable to the people. Excuse me to say that there are some people that you even expect them to know that when it comes to issues of DDF, you don't even come in. The District Development Fund, you don't even come in at all. But because of the 5% of the common fund distributed, they call you on district development project instead of speaking to the district chief executive. So, honorable members, I believe we are all at it that the constitution should be amended and Article 243 should be looked at as a whole so that we really give effect to the meaning and the sense that we want to realize from amending the constitution in order to allow the MMDCs to be elected. Honorable members, it is true that it is in the 2024 manifesto of the NDC that the constitution should be amended to give way to the MMDCs to be elected. But as we know, a constitutional review committee has been put in place. They are looking at the recommendations of the FIAJO Constitutional Review Committee, and they will also come out with a holistic proposal as to the various provisions in the Constitution that has to be amended in order to bring it up to date, because our Constitution is 30 years. The issue, therefore, is, do we want the Constitution to be amended in pieces, or we want the amendment to be done in a whole? I believe strongly that the chairperson of the Constitutional Review Committee, Professor Parliamentary, would listen to us. The members of the committee will also listen to us, and they will take into consideration any proposed amendment to Article 243 of the Constitution, so that we can all give effect to electing the MMDCs. I believe when this is done, it will ease pressure. The public will then be aware when there is a need for development. They will know what to or who to talk to directly. Honourable members, there is this issue that I want to use the opportunity to explain. When it gets to election, because the MMDCs are not elected, you, the MP, in campaigning, you carry your party manifesto. Manifesto's promise that when my government comes to power, we will do A, B, C, D. it is you who carries the manifesto. But when it comes to the implementation of the manifesto, the resources for the implementation of the manifesto is rather sent directly to the assembly. So you are confronted with the challenge of you telling them that your classroom will be renovated. However, the resources is not given to you to do the renovation, but rather it is the MMDCs who are not elected who have control over the resources. I think we need to do a bit of public education and really carry the public along, because to them, once it is you who carry the manifesto and they have elected you, they are expecting you to come and do the project irrespective of whoever controls the resources. So, honourable members, I think we can come together and ensure that the needed constitutional provisions are amended to actually give way for the Constitution to be amended. I thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to also add my voice to the statement ably made by Nana Ajimai. Honourable members, we also have another statement standing in the name of Honourable Nelson Kofi Jaba, MP for Kratchi East Constituency, on the price modification in response to the cedi appreciation against the major trading currency. Honourable member, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for this great opportunity to bring to the attention of this august House a matter of great concern to the Ghanaian, especially the consuming public. The situation at hand is significant appreciation of the Ghana cedi against the major trading currencies, while prices of goods and services remain largely unchanged. Mr. Speaker, the Ghanaian cedi has long been characterized by persistent volatility, often undermining economic stability and investor confidence. For years, the currency has been on a steady downward trajectory against major international currencies such as the US dollar, British pound, euro, and Japanese yen. In 2024 fiscal year, Mr. Speaker, the cedi was ranked among the 4 worst performing currencies in the sub-Saharan Africa, according to Bloomberg and the World Bank report in August and October respectively. In November 2024, the cedi depreciated by 3.95% against the dollar, making a cumulative decline of nearly 29% in the year, translating to 17.10 cedis to $1 American dollar. Mr. Speaker, according to Ghana Statistical Service report, inflation rose to 23.8% in December 2024. Food inflation jumped from 25.9% to 27.8%. In such a profound hardship, the vulnerable Ghanaian population bore the brunt of the impact, as the rising cost of living significantly diminished household purchasing power. Mr. Speaker, currently the Ghanaian cedi has demonstrated a remarkable turnaround, shifting from one of the sub-Saharan Africans' worst performing currency in 2024 to the best performing currency globally in 2025. In the year May 2021, in 21st May 2025, the cedi had appreciated against all the currencies by 24%, against the US dollar, 16.2% against the British pound, and 14.1% against the euro, according to the Bank of Ghana reports. Mr. Speaker, headline inflation has declined consecutively in the first 4 months of the year by 2.6%, went to 21.2% in April, down from 23.5% and March, respectively. Food inflation has declined to 25% from 26%, while non-food decline at the pump since May 16, 2025. Petrol and diesel are now selling for 13.27 cedis and 14.40 cedis per liter, respectively. Transportation fares has been reduced by 15% since 24th May 2025. These reliefs are born out of a result of the Bank of Ghana and government's prudent fiscal operations to confront economic challenges in the country. Mr. Speaker, notwithstanding the cedi appreciation, decline of inflation, reduction of transport fares, and decline of petroleum prices, food and non-food prices remain largely unchanged, which the consuming public are greatly dissatisfied with. If the cedi's depreciation warranted prices increases in the past, it is only fair and just that its appreciation leads to corresponding price reductions. This is not only a matter of economic policy, but also of social equity and consumer protection. The upward trend should translate into lower prices of goods and services, similar to how fuel prices and transportation fares have been reduced. The currency stability should benefit consumers, thus there should be some relief to the consuming public. Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry has assured consumers of price reductions in the cost of goods and services in the next 60 days. However, it remains prudent for Parliament as a major arm of government to call on the trading community to adjust their prices in response to the current appreciation of the Ghana cedi against the other major trading currencies. Mr. Speaker, therefore, I humbly call on the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce, the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, and all relevant stakeholder groups within the supply chain, including importers, wholesalers, resellers, and market associations, to act in good faith and reflect the current economic realities in their price mechanisms. To conclude, Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the opportunity granted me, and I salute the Ministry of Finance, the Bank of Ghana, Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, and all stakeholders for their relentless effort.
Rectify this, and then go back to them and go and tell them that it's WTO that says that we cannot give you money for premix. WTO says that your fishing gear, we can't support you. And we know the difficulties. Even cotton net is so expensive, our fisher folks cannot even pay for it. And most of the time, you realize that they use the nylon, which is also not good for fishing in general. So, Mr. Speaker, as we are rectifying this to align with the global effort, government would have to come with some new investment arrangements to support our fishermen for the long haul.
through diversified living. With this rule, Mr. Speaker, I believe that we need to support it to align.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, motion moved and seconded, and it is for the consideration of the House. Yes, Honourable Muntala Mohammed.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to contribute to the motion ably moved for the consideration of the House. I share the lamentations or the frustrations, if you like, of my colleague, the former regional minister for the Western region. I do know that he lives in communities that largely engage in fishing, or perhaps if they don't engage in fishing, I know the peripheral constituencies, constituencies that has a lot of people engage in fishing. And I can understand the challenges, but I think that we should also be focusing on how we stabilize the economy, build the resilience of our economy, and I think that there are symptoms of stabilizing the economy and the consequential effect it has on some of the materials that our fishing folks are using for the purposes of fishing. Once the economy is stabilized and the city is indeed, running away from the dollar as we are experiencing, the dollar which hitherto was in the prisons or locked and key, virtually a fugitive now, that fugitive has been arrested. It is our collective interest to see how we can all support to boost that. But most importantly, I know my good friend has a lot of investment in that region. Maybe perhaps he can partner people like us who do not live in areas that fishing is a livelihood, to see how we can diversify some of the numerous investment he has in the region for the purposes of assisting, these fisher folks. And for me, that will help. But, Mr. Speaker, one very important point I want to make is that in looking at the challenges confronting fishing in this country, we unfortunately tend to nip to the back environmental issues. A classical example he gave is some of the materials they use in fishing. And the fact that those materials are not good, the nylons, which has an impact on the environment, it destroys the ecosystem, it affects the ability of the fisher folks to even produce, to get enough fish too, because these things are all affected. And it is of this reason that I think that the World Environment Day, which falls on the 5th of June, the theme is on plastic waste. If you check our water bodies, you have huge deposits of plastics. And I think that he can see me after this. Let's see how we can work together to ensure that the plastic waste comes, is something that we fight. But largely, the economy is resilient now. The dollar is coming down. The materials that the people use for the purposes of fishing is coming down. Let's pray and hope that we maintain that, and I have no doubt in mind that ATU is indeed forcing. And the dollar certainly will continue to struggle at the expense of the city. And those materials wouldn't be in Ghana. In Ghana, I think it is also a reminder that we should focus on finding locally materials that we use for the purposes of fishing. That for me is significant. It's a wake-up call. Almost everything they use are imported. How are we going to come out with means by which we can have local materials that we use to support these our future folks to engage in fishing? And that is precisely what we should all be thinking as members of Parliament. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes, Leader.
Mr. Speaker,
I think I'll have to put a question after Leader submission.
Today is Friday, and we all want to close early, except that I want to draw the attention of the Minister responsible for Fisheries and Aquaculture and the Chairman that what they are doing today is not going to help the fisher folks and the fishing community. Minister, by rectifying this means that you are taking subsidy to completely out from the fisher folks. That the subsidy that is on the premix, the subsidy that is on the aboard motors, and even you are unable, Chairman, to tell us the capacity. What is the local capacity of and the impact of the subsidy that we are talking about? And also, I think we should know or be able to have a program about how we can improve the lives of the fisher folks. By taking out this subsidy, definitely will have an impact on the people. What is the poverty assessment level? What impact will it make? We need to know all this. Even though today Speaker is actually urging us to rush out things, And I think that is what you are going to benefit. But in essence, what the minister responsible for fisheries and aquaculture bring is to bring hardship to the fishing communities, is to be able to put them in a very tight corner. They will be unable to do anything. So there must be an alternative livelihood for the fisher folks so that they will be able to improve and take care of themselves. In a normal day, we wouldn't have been party to this because we don't believe that we should put more burden on the fisher folks. But today, the NDC government, led by the minister responsible for fisheries and aquaculture, minister, you need to pay attention to what I'm saying because you've campaigned a lot on the fishing communities and you have said a lot in the fishing communities. And today you are the one leading the charge to take off all these subsidies. And this is all going to help. Mr. Speaker, I second the motion. Thank you.
Yes, Majority Whip.
Mr. Speaker, let the record reflect that the agreement being ratified by this House today in no way will lead to removal of subsidies. The agreement is very clear. If you read at Article 3, Clause 1, Speaker, it says this: no member shall grant or maintain any subsidy to a vessel or an operator engaged in illegal, unreported, and unregulated IUU fishing or fishing-related activities in support of IUU fishing. This is what the convention is saying. So it is categorizing those people that where subsidies are applied, it still affects those engaged in illegalities. So Mr. Speaker, please. So Mr. Speaker, let the record reflect this. Then two, I'll just touch on paragraph 5, sub 3 of the report. It says the committee acknowledged the agency associated with the ratification of the WTO agreement on fisheries subsidies, particularly in the light of Ghana's current yellow card status issued by the European Union as a result of illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing practices. This is what the ratification of this agreement will help us to deal with, Mr. Speaker. I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for that explanation. After taking the leaders, I intend to put a question at the conclusion of the debate. The question is, as many as are in favor of the motion, say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Yes, item number 13, consequential resolution. Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Whereas by the provisions of Article 75 of the Constitution, any treaty, agreement, or convention executed by or under the authority of the President in the name of Ghana is made subject to ratification either by an act of Parliament or by a resolution of Parliament supported by the votes of more than 1/2 of all the members of
Minister, you have the floor.
In accordance with the said Article 75, and now therefore this Honourable House hereby resolves to ratify the said World Trade Organization Agreement on Fisheries Subsidies. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to address a number of issues that have been said here. I just want it on record that Ghana ratifying this WTO treaty rather protects our fishermen from over-exploitation. Thank you. I so move.
Honourable members, The Honorable Minister move for the adoption of the resolution. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I wish to second the motion.
The motion is moved and seconded. As many as are in favor of the adoption of the resolution say aye. Those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The resolution numbered item 13 on today's order paper is accordingly adopted. Honourable members, I think at this stage we have to order the House to be constituted into a committee of the whole. The House is accordingly ordered to constitute into committee of the whole. Thank you very much.
We should go as a committee of the whole. Let's go for it. Okay. It's an hour for me.
Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favor upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in their sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic, thou members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of government, this land and people may be well and truly served. Their good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service, and honor shall be given to the deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the effort of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality, inspire and strengthen our people, that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Our members, let's move straight to item numbered 5. Correction of vote and proceedings and official reports. We have the vote and proceedings of Thursday, 29th May 2025 under consideration. Page 1. Page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8, page 9, page 10, page 11, page 12, page 13. Honourable members, in the absence of any correction, the vote and proceedings of Thursday, 29th May 2025 is hereby adopted as the true records of proceedings. Honourable members, official reports. We have 2 official reports. Official report of 28th March 2025 and 29th March 2025. Honourable members, let's start with Friday, 29th March 2025. It's before you for correction. Yes, Honorable Frank Afriye.
Speaker, thank you very much. Friday is rather 28th March, but since you mentioned 29th March, let me...
No, we are looking at Friday, 28th March.
Okay. I thought I had 29.
Mismatch and Honourable members, official report of Friday, 28th March 2025 is before you for correction. Honourable members, in the absence of any correction, the official report of Friday, 28th March 2025 Honourable member, are you on your feet? Yes.
Thank you, Speaker.
Yes.
So, Saturday, 29th March. Speaker.
No, let's finish with the 28th March, then we can come to 29th March. So if your issue is with 29th March, let me finish with the 28th March.
Oh, okay.
So, honourable members, in the absence of any correction, the official report of Friday, 28th March 2025 is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Now, the official report of Friday, 29th March 2025. Honorable Frank Afriye, you have the floor.
Speaker, just a minor but important correction. Column 10, paragraph 3. If it pleases you, Speaker, the table should delete assembly, which is singular, and insert assemblies, the plural form of same. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Table office take note. Any further correction? Honourable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the official report of 29th March 2025 is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Honourable members, item numbered 6 on today's order paper. Business statement for the second week. Chairman of the Business Committee.
Thank you very much. Right Honorable Speaker, your committee met on Thursday, 29th of May, and arranged business of the House for this second week, and then Friday, 6th of June, 2025. We accordingly submit our report. Honorable Speaker, you may read any available communication to the House during the week. We have 72 scheduled questions, 22 are urgent, 50 are oral, and in all, 11 ministers of state will appear before the House to answer those questions. Statements may be made by ministers on matters of government policy and by members as well, and bills, papers, and reports may be presented to the House. So, Speaker, motions may be debated and consequential resolutions taken. There will be the regular briefings of the House. So, Speaker, I believe that during that week, notice of the nomination of the Supreme Court judges will also be put out and preparations made for the Appointments Committee's work. So, Speaker, in accordance with Order 216(2) and subject to Order 67, the committee submits to the House the order in which the business of the House shall be taken during the week, and urge this House to adopt the report. Thank you.
Honourable members, the business statement has been ably presented by the Chairman of the Business Committee. It is now for your comment. Yes, Honourable Habib.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to find out from the Majority Leader and the Chairman of the Business Committee when we should be expecting the mid-year budget. Mr. Speaker, the second observation on page 7, 8 up to 9, the Chairman of the committee made provisions for business on Friday, the 6th of June. My understanding is that the Minister responsible for Interior and National Security have declared that day a public holiday. Mr. Speaker, even though the Minister responsible for Interior declared the Friday 6th June as a public holiday for Eid al-Adha, Mr. Speaker, we are all aware that the President did promise that the Eid festival, there will be a 2-day holiday. And Mr. Speaker, the Eid al-Fitr, which is the first one, we had 2 holidays that the President, based on the promise of the President. And when the President was cutting the sword for the Hajj board, he said that it is a time for deep spiritual reflection, community gathering, and an act of charity. Additional holidays will give Muslims ample time to rejoice. Eid al-Adha is a very important Eid for Muslims, and it is the climax of the fifth pillar of Islam. The majority leader, you are the first Muslim majority leader of Parliament. You are the first. So I don't think he is the first Muslim majority leader from 92 up to date. So you should ensure that the promise of the president that he is going to give 2 days for Eid celebration. The interior minister only offers SIF, which is 1 day, and that is not the promise of the president. I don't want to believe it is part of a promise and fail by the president, telling Muslim community that I'm giving you 2 days and then ended up giving us 1 day. So majority leader, you will have to liaise with the interior minister and let us know, because we are concerned, because it is what the president promised Ghanaians. And he has given the first one. Why is the second one not given? We need to know. I'm saying that Eid al-Fitr, the president had promised 2 days holiday for Eid. In Eid al-Fitr, he gave the 2 days. Eid al-Adha, which the interior minister said 6th June is a holiday for Eid al-Adha. And it is not 1 day that the president promised. He said Eid, and we have 2 Eid. We have Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. So I don't know why you do one and you not give the other. So you need to brief us or talk to the minister responsible for interior why he has to give Muslims 1 day for Eid al-Adha when the president promised us 2 days. That's what I am saying. Mr. Speaker, I don't know why I'm talking to the chairman who wants clarification. I'm talking to the chairman who needs clarification on the issues that I am raising. Because majority leader, even though we appreciate what the president did for us for the Eid al-Fitr, the 2 days, equally, Eid al-Adha, Eid al-Adha is the climax of the fifth pillar of Islam, which is very, very important. That's the time we slaughter our cows. And that's the time we even need more time to rejoice. So I can invite the minister responsible for roads and highways to come and marry with me. But if he give us 1 day, it's against the promise of the president. And I don't want to believe that the president deceived the Muslim community. Thank you.
Yes, Chairman of the Business Committee, can we take some comments, then you have the floor to respond to them. Yes, Minority Chief Whip.
Speaker, let me start off by commending the leader of the House, who so far has navigated well. Now, if you look at the business statement as proposed for the adoption by the House, clearly replete with a number of questions. 72 questions is not ordinary. And these questions are questions that are outstanding, which has been offloaded. I'm also reliably aware that there are fresh questions. In fact, for our side, there are fresh questions that we have filed, anticipating the ministers to come and do justice and respond to these questions. So what? Now, we will not countenance excuses in the coming weeks. In fact, some of the ministers dutifully attend upon the House. Some don't. And we are taking a cue. I don't want to mention any names, but the Honorable Road Minister is a notable personality who is always in the House. Now, Honorable Akande has joined him. Now, Honorable Akande is taking a cue from Honorable Abuja. The other ministers should take a cue. In the coming weeks, Majority Leader, we are not going to countenance, I am attending a meeting here, I am attending a conference here. This is Parliament, and it must prioritize the work of Parliament. So I'm hoping the respected majority leader will take this into consideration as we plan programs and activities for the ensuing week. Speaker, the majority leader will recall that I was at the business committee meeting. One of the agreements, significant agreement at the meeting, which I found missing, was a decision to program the exchequer, the finance minister, to be here between Tuesday and Wednesday because of what he's doing at, we are told, an official program at Côte d'Ivoire, the AFDB elections. I can't find that captured. The finance minister must be in the house. Common Fund is outstanding. Jet Fund project is outstanding. Well, NHIA, we are here to give official assent to the formula, so one cannot talk about it. You can see sadness in the faces of, if you visit assemblies, no show. The assemblies are unhappy. The ministers are not happy. Why? And the finance minister will so moto decide when he wants to pay common fund. He's our friend. He's one of our own. But this one will put friendship aside. He must be programmed to attend upon the house and tell us what the plans are to honor these payments. And I'm sure the leader of the house agrees with me. Again, there's an observation that is emerging as a trend. Mining agreement. I recall when we passed the budget for the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, there was no provision for the reclamation of polluted water bodies, land, and all what have you. Yet, mining agreements day in, day out are being extended. Mining agreements are being signed. Article 268 of the Constitution is clear. An imperative on this House to ensure the ratification of these agreements. The majority leader, a respected lawyer as he is, also agrees. The current one is the gold mines, Goldfields Damine mine. We are aware, formally, there was a former release. Government has extended it. Yet, the executive cannot take Parliament for granted. They must bring that agreement here for ratification. We are entering the second week and no show. Meanwhile, the mining companies are working. Parliament has not ratified it. And the mining companies are working. Mr. Speaker, these agreements must be brought to the House forthwith for Parliament to consider them. The executive cannot assume that the extension of the agreement is an automatic ratification by Parliament. No. Especially in this time and age, when water bodies, we have renewed effort in the pollution of water bodies and the destruction of land. We cannot. The lands minister, this is not a matter for him to shed tears. This is not a matter for shedding of tears. He should just bring the agreement for us to consider. And I'll bring this to the notice of the majority leader to ensure the minister does the needful. If you visit Sakumono and its environs, houses are being pulled down for reasons we don't know. What we hear is that these houses have been built on waterways. Ramsar sites have been encroached upon, and hence the need for these houses to be pulled down. We don't know. That is what we've been hearing. At least, as a representative of the people, the minister should come. We will want to support the minister to sanitize building activities and to ensure that the right thing is done. Mr. Speaker, I am also aware, and some of the assemblies who wrongfully issue building permits and yet go behind and cause the destruction of these same buildings. So it's a big concern, and we will be happy if the local government minister or a minister relevant to this program to come and apprise us? Is it just the question of structures being built on waterways being destroyed? Are there other considerations we need to look at? These are concerns that we cannot simply gloss over. Let me draw the curtains on an engagement we had with the Speaker and leadership. I thought the discussion has been firmed up in terms of the time we'll start proceedings. We are told there's a proposal almost accepted that we should start proceedings at 2. And leader, I don't know if it's a matter that has been firmed up, it should find expression, or we should have a confirmation so that honorable members can program themselves accordingly.
Honorable member, on that note, I was part of that meeting, and you know it was conditional. Various caucuses would have to be informed, and by the agreement of the caucus, then the change will come appropriately. I think that was the decision taken at that meeting.
Yeah, that's fine. My conclusion is that the mood of the House, leader, I'm trying to gauge the mood of the House. I see your back, sadness to the power 4, and our back, sadness to the power 3. Majority leader, do something. The mood of the House is not too good. Members are happy. There are matters I cannot discuss in the open. So leadership must engage. Honorable Doyo, do the needful. Honorable Doyo, are you listening? You are on call. Listen to me. Deputy Whip, are you talking to the Finance Minister?
Honorable Minority Chief Whip, you rightly